Ladies and gentlemen, the next match at Bound for Glory is a submission match with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, representing the main event mafia from the nation of violence, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe!
Well, you're going to witness something here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be pretty cool. Submission match. You only win this match via submission. I had an opportunity, Mike, over the weekend here, the Bound for Glory weekend, to have a conversation with both Bobby Lashley and Samoa Joe. We're in for a treat here, my friend. I'm telling you that right now. They're both locked in.
I can't wait to see it.
His opponent from Colorado Springs, Colorado, the boss, Bobby Lashley!
And as you can see, the ribs of the boss, Bobby Lashley, still taped. And we saw what went down on Impact involving Bobby Lashley and the War Machine Rhino.
Yeah, you know, ribs, anybody who's broken ribs before knows how long it takes for those things to heal. Bobby Lashley is a specimen, to say the least, but he is human. Might not look it, but he is. That's a target right there, man. Samoa Joe's looking at a target around the waist of Bobby Lashley. Bobby's really got to be defensive with Joe and prevent him from getting to that midsection.
And it's almost like a neon sign, isn't it, to Samoa Joe?
Yeah, it is.
When he sees those ribs being taped, whatever strategy you might have had, and you know Samoa Joe very well, yeah, I'm just guessing that Joe probably has that as part of his game plan.
Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, Joe didn't tell me his game plan. I know him pretty well, as you said, but, oh! I mean, Joe's not just well-versed in submission, but he strikes very well. Look at that drop step into a tenth of a single leg by Bobby Lashley. Quick sprawl back by Samoa Joe.
And they lock it up, collar and elbow, and Joe going to try and overpower Lashley, but not sure that that's going to work. Is Lashley able to turn it around on him in the corner? And Joe, nice move there to turn it around on Lashley as he fights back out of the corner.
Yeah, and I mean, look, again, you win this match via submission hold. So, oh, wow. Look at the disrespect. Look at this. Joe just... Oh, my God. How impressive.
Look at the athleticism with the leapfrog. Spinebuster into the pin, and there he goes for the armbar.
That's a Juji Katami. That's all called a cross arm breaker. Joe turned in, very smart.
Joe had the perfect defense for it, Taz, and then he goes right to the mount, and you see the strikes.
Another round kick. Nice roll through it to an ankle, almost a heel hook, but into a leg bar by Samoa Joe. Beautiful way to get to that leg bar by Joe. And Joe's got to watch out of his right ankle. Bobby might have been, look at that drop step again into that high crotch and a single leg takedown and a rear mount by Bobby Lashley.
And there you see Bobby Lashley's wife, that's Crystal Lashley, sitting at ringside cheering on her husband in this submission match at Bound for Glory. And there goes Samoa Joe into the corner, and just so impressed with Bobby Lashley, just the speed and the crispness of these moves, that explosiveness, as you were going to say.
The man's got busted up, messed up, busted up ribs, does Bobby. I'm telling you, the guy's a freak. Look at Joe, Samoa Joe calling a timeout. Nothing wrong with that. You might get a mixed reaction here. You know, Samoa Joe, Samoan, but, grew up in California. He's got a lot of friends and family in attendance here this evening. I don't think neither of these men could care less about who the audience is rooting for or not.
No, this is about proving who's the best. You know, we talked about this match earlier being TNA versus MMA, and Bobby Lashley mentioned, I know something to you.
Well, that's what he had talked to me about. Bobby's like, I'm TNA through and through, Taz. It's not about MMA for me here. He wants a win under the TNA banner against Samoa Joe here in this submission match. Can Bobby do it?
Boy, this is some accomplishment, though, that Bobby Lashley sets out to do, being the two-spoiled star, as we see Joe going with those nice kicks. And
trying to wear down the legs of Bobby Lashley. That's pretty smart.
Wow. Referee Earl Hebner got caught with a kick, and then did you see Joe take that shortcut?
Well, Bobby, it looked like Bobby might have been distracted for a minute by Earl getting caught in the leg,
and Joe went right for the ribs.
He sure did. Joe took that opening and zoned in on it. What's Joe got in mind here?
Oh, gonna go through with the elbow suicida directly through. His suicide dive with the elbow shots just to add that extra element.
Well, it wasn't a submission, but it was pretty damn impressive.
Well, the key is here in this match as you watch it evolve.
Yeah, wear down.
It's the wear down process. It's not about just putting on a submission hold.
Causing mixed reaction. I mean, he's got a lot of his homeboys in attendance here. Does Samoa Joe. And
again, focusing his offensive attack on the injured ribs. Rhino helped out. Of course, Samoa Joe as well, inflicting punishment to Lashley in recent weeks on Impact.
Just imagine the pain that's going through Lashley's body. Oh, what a nasty job. But the pain going through Lashley's body, difficult to breathe. And you got one nasty, angry Samoan submission machine in hot pursuit of injuring your body.
Well, he's got his nation of violence supporting him here in Irvine, California, as he rolls Lashley in, and you can just sense the confidence level rising in Samoa Joe.
Yeah, well, Joe Smart tried to wrestle his pace, but you got to be careful with Bobby. Bobby Lashley, a very explosive athlete. Joe just stopped him with an old school rake in the eyes and went for a leapfrog again, but to the ribs, again to the ribs.
Strikes to the midsection. The punch, the kick. Well, totally focused on those injured ribs, and he's right back on him again.
Joe put the brakes on for that leapfrog, was able to wear down the ribs. This is like a low version of like an abdominal stretch.
And that's doubly effective when you've got that, and then adding that elbow, just grinding it into the injured ribs.
Pulls apart your rib cage, Mike, and the little muscles in between your ribs called the intercostals, and it pulls those things apart. And, it makes it tough to breathe, and, you could just see the pain and anguish that Bobby Lashley is in.
Lashley.
Hip toss out.
Fight through that pain.
Yeah, mixed reaction here for Bobby Lashley.
Striking power of Lashley. Quickly tempered by that snap slam. Gonna go for the arm breaker again.
And that's it. Zoned in for his own Juji Katami. That's a jiu-jitsu/judo hold. And it looks like can Joe straighten out that arm and bar it completely?
And Joe stopping him really from countering the move.
Well, no, Bobby stacks Joe. Stacks Joe to his back to alleviate the pain and pressure. You don't want Bobby Lashley grounded and pounded on you, Mike.
And that's what Joe is on the receiving end of. Back up to his feet, and Lashley right there again. Forearm shots rock Joe, and then Joe just takes him. And perfect offense. Backs him up into the corner, ribs first.
And Joe just, again, as I pointed out earlier, wrestling his pace here. Now, Joe shouldn't do this. He's trying to frustrate and disrespect Bobby and punk him out. I don't know if I agree with that. You don't want to play games with a guy like Bobby Lashley.
Guess he figures, let's get in his head. Maybe he'll make a mistake that I can take advantage of and catch him off guard with a submission move.
Watch that full Nelson. Oh! Full Nelson slam. Again, the power of the boss, Bobby Lashley. Who's going to lock in a submission, a choke, a leg bar, arm bar, key lock, Kimura? Who's going to hook something to get a victory?
Both competitors slowly making their way back up to their feet. Lashley strikes first, taking down Joe. Follow-up move is the clothesline. Right after the boot. Oof. Big shot to the back of the head.
With that, T-bone suplex right there. Quick and explosive.
And very effective.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Watch out, Joe. Uranagi.
Excellent counter as Lashley went for the corner clothesline.
Samoa Joe might have went for a cover. Oh,
he's going to go again?
No one time. No need for a cover. My bad. Submission match. That's two. But Joe's going for a third. Oh, that Osonagari sweep right there.
He may have left himself open at that point when Joe went for it again.
He's got some sort of Almost like a side choke, a version of like a Kesekatami. Oh, wait a minute.
Here is your winner, the Boss, Bobby Lashley.
Oh, what happened?
I didn't see Joe tap out. I wonder if the referee felt that Joe had lost consciousness at that point, as we see Crystal Lashley celebrate her husband's victory.
Hold on, it's not up to the ref. The ref's got to check Joe. He can't just decide. I think he might have lost consciousness.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Well, I was smart by Bobby Lashley to block that third version of a Uranagi. I think Joe went to the well one too many times, and a nice outer leg sweep by Bobby Lashley.
There's the great counter by Lashley, and he ends up victorious tonight at Bound for Glory.